T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Welcome everyone to this episode of the Palmetto Guardian. I'm Sergeant Chelsea Weaver. Today we have a very special guest with us. He has not been on the podcast with us, so I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we're just going to dive right into today's topic.
Hello everyone. I'm Norris McCall, the State Command Sgt Major for the South Carolina Army National Guard.
Awesome. Well, Sergeant Major, thank you so much for coming and taking the time out of your schedule to come talk with us. You are a new face to some, so could you kind of give a little bit of background from where you started and how you got to where you are now?
Sure. My career started straight out of high school. I joined the South Carolina Army National Guard. Went on a deployment to Iraq in 2004 to 2005. And actually in 2005, my career in the Guard kind of took off. I was given an opportunity to join recruiting and retention. So I've spent the last 17 plus years in recruiting. And from there, I was given an opportunity to board for the State Command Sergeant Major position and was able to be afforded that opportunity. And now I'm here trying to do great things for the South Carolina Army National Guard.
Awesome. That's crazy. Like, to think of somebody being in recruiting for that long. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes and like experienced a lot of different things. So that's a lot.
It is a lot. This is 35 years in the uniform for me. So I have been privy to a lot of changes associated with the National Guard, and but I also think those opportunities have given me a lot of insight to soldiering, and that's really where I'm at. I know I'm here to be for the soldier and try to make the Guard the best I can for the entire soldier population that we have here.
So how did that make you feel? Like, did you ever think whenever you enlisted that you would go up the ranks and get to this point? Or were you kind of just like, I'm going to do my 20 years and then see what happens?
I actually was going to do my 6 years, and I was going to probably not re-enlist. And I got to 10 years, and time happens. The Guard's always been good to me, and here I am. I never thought I would make it to where I've made it. It's like I pinch myself periodically to see if I'm still awake, right? Because I just thought I kind of knew I'd make it to E6, E7. But that's about as far as I thought I would make it, honestly. And things started to happen, right place, right time. I've always considered myself to be a hard worker, but I was never caught up in chasing rank. I just kind of did my job, and now I guess you reap the benefits of hard work, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and I'm glad that you came to talk to us because a big event coming up that's big for the enlisted side of the house is Best Warrior. Talk about it every year. We have the cool videos that we make and all that fun stuff. But this year's kind of cool because we're going to have a lot more competitors that we're not used to. So we've had Germans in the past compete. This year we have Colombians that are going to be competing as well, which is our state partnership program. So can you kind of go into that and like the importance of not only bringing this to the enlisted soldiers, but also to share that with others who aren't a part of the South Carolina National Guard?
Sure. As you stated, we put a lot of value in our state partnership program, and our state partnership is with the country of Colombia. And this year, we've always had the Germans come. For the last 3+ years, we've had German competitors. This year, we decided to ante up and add some of the Colombian competitors. So we'll have 3 Colombian competitors coming in. I think it's important for our soldiers to see how other countries operate from a military perspective. And we're also, these are all NCOs and soldiers, of course, and we want to give our soldiers here in South Carolina an opportunity to interact and just get a taste of how military life is outside of the United States.
Is there a specific event that you're looking forward to the most compared to other ones?
I think I've been told the Colombians will probably bring their best. So it will be probably our version of maybe the Rangers. So I'm looking for them to be real competitive. I'm going to challenge our soldiers to be on the lookout and make sure they're bringing their best. I guess the event that I'm looking forward to the most is I'm kind of interested in how they will conduct our ACFT, because they'll come in and do our ACFT. I'm looking forward to seeing how they rack up to us on the ACFT.
I know that, like, watching our soldiers doing the German PT test for the GAFB and then vice versa, them doing ours, it's interesting to see, like, the differences in the events and how they understand what you're trying to explain to them and stuff. Like, it's very interesting to watch. So I'm curious to see how it's going to be with the Colombians, because we've had them come here and, like, they've integrated with our soldiers and learned training and stuff, but they've never been a part of a competition where they have to, like, go. Like, there's just stuff happening on the fly. And
exactly. And we have the itinerary geared up right now for everyone to, it's not a lot of what I call white space time in the event. So we want to push these competitors. It's not going to be a lot of, like you said, explaining events. You don't get a lot of, let me try this or let me give you a dry run. It's when they get here, it's all on go, and everybody's going to have to learn fast.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to put it. Is there any advice that you would like to give anybody who might be participating in this year's event, or maybe those who are learning about it and potentially want to participate next year?
When I looked at the Best Warrior for 24, I wanted to make sure my whole intent is to have the best of the best for South Carolina. I wanted each of the MSCs to encourage their soldiers to participate in Best Warrior. There's a pride factor in representing this state at the regional Best Warrior, and obviously every state has their own individual Best Warrior competition, but from here we move on to the regionals, and then hopefully you move on to the national Best Warrior. There's nothing better than having a representative from your state to represent you at the regional and the national Best Warrior. So the goal is to have a population of soldiers that's very competitive and just want to be a part of the Best Warrior. I don't really want anyone that's kind of forced to be here. I want it to be an opportunity for soldiers that really want to come, and I know we're going to have fun, and I want them to take these experiences, and hopefully we can move on and have a good showing at the regional in Kentucky.
Oh, okay, I remember it was somewhere, like, further west, but I couldn't remember what state exactly. So
yes, our regionals are in Kentucky this year.
Awesome.
Yes.
And then from my understanding, we're hosting next year again?
Yes,
I feel like we just did.
I wasn't going to go there, but we are hosting. I'm trying to get through 24 right now, but we are hosting the regionals in 25. So that's going to be a huge event. I'm sure I'll be invited back, and we'll sit down and we'll talk about that as well. But as soon as the 24 Best Warrior is over, we'll immediately go back into planning for next year's state and a regional Best Warrior. Yeah,
that's insane. Like, I feel like we just did it like 2 or 3 years ago, but it's crazy how time flies by so fast. But I remember at one of the IPRs that we had, I don't remember if it was you specifically or another sergeant major was saying, like, my goal is to get somebody to nationals. How do you feel about that going into this? Like, I know we don't know who the competitors are. We haven't seen anything. Like, what advice and words do you have on that?
I definitely want someone for the nationals. There was a part, I'll get better at this as we go. We basically allow 2 competitors per MSC right now to compete, 1 NCO and 1 soldier. I'm willing to ante that up, and if just to make sure that we can get us to the 18 competitors. And I just want us to continue to spread the word, and let's try to encourage some of the younger soldiers that may not know as much about the Best Warrior as some of the soldiers that's been here for a while. But I want the word out in the units about how important it is to have some initiative to want to be the best at whatever you do. I think all of us that wear this uniform, there is some confidence automatically built into us. Obviously, we probably get that from basic training. But at the end of the day, there's some I don't intend to fail, and I want to be the best. If you don't want to be the best at what you're doing, I don't really understand why you do it. You don't have to be arrogant about it, but I think you should want to be the best. So I think just encouraging soldiers to give their all and understand the importance, like I said earlier, the importance of that's a huge accomplishment to say that you were the South Carolina representative at the Nationals for Best Warrior competition. That is huge.
Absolutely. And it's amazing to see, like, from day one to the last day, like how much it builds these lower enlisted and NCOs, like their skill sets and their communication skills and meeting people across the state that they would have never met if they didn't go to this competition. And I know some people become lifelong friends and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just about coming to compete and show off or be the best coming from your MSC and all that. Like, that has a part in it, but also too, like the experience they gain from it is just amazing. And just seeing how, even though they're competing against each other through the whole competition, like, they're all motivating and like encouraging each other to keep pushing, to not stop, to keep going. So I just think that's just incredible in itself.
Absolutely. Some of the intent behind this also, obviously all the competitors will live together, do everything together for the entire week. So there is a lot of behind the scene collaboration that I'm sure is going to go on, which is why we encourage what I call visitor competitors. Because now when they're on their own time, they get to do some soldier development. And that's also a part of this. We want to always provide soldiers an opportunity to develop and just learn different ways and different cultures. So it's important. We're always worldwide. You never know where we're going to be on any given day. So it's always important to see how other cultures operate and how other countries develop their NCOs.
Now, I know it's going to be here anytime now, but do you have any type of advice for those competing or potentially further on down the line competing about preparation and things that they can do mentally, physically, emotionally to prepare for something like this?
I think there is a lot of preparation that goes into the competitors for the Best Warrior. Some advice I would give is we should all be cognizant of our physical fitness and making sure that you can't just show up to this event and think you're going to do well. There has to be daily preparation from diet to just generic exercise to how much rest you're getting. So it's not just on the soldier, it's on the soldier's command also to provide that support for that, to allow that soldier time to what I call train up for the Best Warrior. You definitely can't just show up. So again, from nutrition to physical fitness to your rest is all important to be successful in this competition.
Now, in the past, competitors had incentives for competing. So, like, the winners got to go to a certain school or things like that. Is that still something that the winners are allowed to do?
I remember some of that in the past. I'm definitely not opposed. I think the winner is definitely someone, if they come to me and they want to go to a school, we'll figure that out because I think it's important. And you're right. We all do things for some type of incentive. And whether we always agree to that or not, there's some kind of incentive built in there that drives just about everything a soldier or a person does, right? So, yes, they will be allowed to attend some schools within something that that we have available for the Guard, they will get an opportunity to attend some schools of their choice. Absolutely.
One thing that I'm excited about also this year is the new obstacle course, because we were out there when the engineers were building it and like taking photos of the progress and stuff like that, and watching them move the pieces of huge wood around and like the logs and everything. And then we've been waiting to like see it in use. So it's kind of exciting to see how our soldiers built something that now we're going to be able to use for a competition versus having to always go to Fort Jackson and use their obstacle course. So I think that'll be interesting to see like the flow of it, because you're having to go from McCready to downtown Columbia to Fort Jackson. So to have it more centrally located, I think is going to be really beneficial too, just so that the soldiers and the NCOs are familiar with the area that they're in and the environment and all of that. So that'll be exciting to see.
You're very right. Those engineers, they did a good job with that obstacle course. We're just rolling it out. So it is new to a lot of our soldiers. So I don't know that anyone would have a competitive advantage at this point. So I think even our partner competitors, there's not a disadvantage to them to go through the obstacle course. And it's kind of ironic. The engineers built that obstacle course, and the engineers were responsible for heading up the 2024 Best Warrior.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
That worked out perfectly.
It worked out perfectly.
That's awesome. Well, Sergeant Major, I'm really grateful that you came to talk to us. Is there anything that maybe we didn't discuss or maybe I didn't ask about that you would like to mention before we close out?
No, I think we covered everything. Again, I just like to reiterate that always want max participation. Anything we have state level gets the state, any kind of national, regional recognition. We want soldiers to be a part of this process. I guess my word to the younger soldiers is come in with the right attitude, come in wanting to succeed, and allow the state to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve in this uniform.
Awesome. Well said.
Thank you.
Well, again, thank you so much for stopping by. We look forward to working with you and everybody else a part of the competition. It's going to be really fun and exciting to get out and get some footage to share with the state to show everything that they did during the competition. So it's always a fun time for us because we get to dabble in some things we don't get to do throughout the year. So
without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you so much. This has been great. I'm looking forward. I'm excited. I'm like a little kid again. Mm-hmm. Very excited.
Awesome. Well, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.